up to MMA Fancast? My name is Luke Bass, and welcome back to everyone who is already a subscriber to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now. My honor, anytime I can have a first-time guest of the show. This is not only a first-time guest of the show, he is also a 2-0 amateur MMA fighter and a 3-0 amateur Muay Thai fighter, hailing from the great gym, Stout Pittsburgh. His first-time guest of the show. Super excited to have him, Hugh Eadie. Hugh Eadie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. And if your record wasn't enough of a reason to bring you on, which I can't wait to talk about, the real reason why you're on is we are 13 days away from your 247 Fighting Championship debut, your third amateur MMA fight, your first for 247 at 247 Fighting Championships Brawl in the Burgh 27, going down at the Murrysville Sportzone Arena on March 15th, which they are focusing on kind of a St. Patrick's Day theme. So super excited to get to all that. First off, for you come in with a lot of experience to this fight. You're fighting an opponent who's 4-1. Given your record, that makes sense. You know, you guys are both more experienced fighters. What has been the highlight of your Muay Thai training or fighting? You're 3-0. All of your Muay Thai fights have obviously been for Stout Muay Thai because your gym runs their own Muay Thai organization a couple times a year. So what's it been like fighting in your Muay Thai career before we get to MMA?
I think it's a great way to kind of like get into the realm of competing. It's obviously you can do a lot of things with like jujitsu competitions and stuff like that, but I don't think there's anything quite as similar to getting like a punch or a kick thrown at your head with the intent of like knocking you out. So I think being able to have a home field advantage in those fights has definitely given me a lot more confidence, and it's been really nice seeing my own skills develop as I've had each of those fights.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I should have mentioned that you're a middleweight. You're a kind of a tall middleweight, 6'2", I think. So it's a great frame. Your opponent for the MMA fight is, I think, 5'11". So big, strong middleweights is what I could assume. What has been your experience getting to 2-0 in MMA? Do you feel like Stout is known for jiu-jitsu. Do you feel like you're a striker who basically just has to tolerate being in MMA? No offense to that idea, because that would be fine. Or are you more of a striker who also really enjoys the full round MMA?
Well, so as I've been like progressing through MMA as a complete martial art, it's been a lot of fun like learning new things. Like the thing I really enjoyed about striking was able to learn how things worked and went together. And it's like now that I've fully dived into MMA, it's like I'm getting to experience that all over again. And my funny story about my first MMA fight was it was actually 3 weeks after my first Muay Thai fight. So I quite literally went into this thinking, okay, I'm just gonna do it. It'll be fun. I'll try. My opponent was a wrestler, so in my mind, I kind of accepted that if I lost on the ground, it was no big deal. But I was able to implement a lot of my game from striking and keep it on the feet. And whenever it did get to the ground, I had my opponent hurt enough so that he wasn't able to work his game as much.
Well, that's a great MMA debut story. And I think that that's good, right? A lot of times, kickboxers or Muay Thai, that's kind of what they need. Typically, they don't end up getting a big win. Obviously, you got to win. You're undefeated in the sense that typically they look good on their feet. They get kind of laid on and preyed on, as we say. You know, somebody gets a takedown. So I give you congratulations for using amateur MMA for what it should be, which is if you're going to get losses, get them in amateur, right? Not that you're looking for losses, but that's the time to explore. So that's really cool. But then after your first MMA fight, did it get a little bit more, serious in your mind that, hey, you've got to win 3 weeks after your first Muay Thai fight? Now it's time to kind of continue to explore MMA?
Yeah, I definitely feel like getting the win, the first win was a huge boost in confidence because I'll be completely honest, I did not train my jujitsu or wrestling that much to that point. And seeing that I was able to be successful with like a minimal amount of skills with that, it really opened my eyes to the potential that I have. And so I've been focusing so much more on it, and I just really want to like be able to understand the martial art as a whole. And realistically, there's you kind of have to accept the fact that in America, especially, the market for like Muay Thai and kickboxing specifically is not as large as it is for MMA. So if I really want to go far with this, I know that I'm going to have to be doing full mixed martial arts.
It's a great mindset. It's very self-aware. Um, Shout out to not only Stout promotions for Muay Thai. 247 is going to be doing Muay Thai. I believe they've done a couple fights inside the cage, so we might see you in that capacity in the future. And a buddy of mine, Gary Grant, this is out in Eastern Pennsylvania in the Allentown region, does USKA Sports, Fight Sports, USKA's Fight Sports, and they do Muay Thai and kickboxing. And they were the first to kind of come out and I think kind of partner with Stout. There was a connection there back in the day. So you are right, though. Now, I can tell you from the MMA world, it's kind of interesting. There may be more opportunities for kickboxers. I think also there's more excitement for kickboxers within Muay Thai, while within MMA. While MMA is always going to be based on the grappling arts, and Western Pennsylvania is known for wrestling. I think as you develop, particularly if you develop a style that's more the striking, friendly, or flashy style, that's gonna go a long way in your excitement and what people think. As far as what people think when they think of your name. So now, as we turn toward this upcoming fight, obviously you have the experience. You're 3-0 Muay Thai, 2-0 MMA. Why say yes to a 4-1 your opponent? Why say yes to him at Castienda? Why say yes to him at 4-1? Was it just kind of like the best option, or do you like challenging yourself? Because I feel like you might have been able to find maybe I don't know, a 2-1 or a 2-2. Why go for a guy with more experience coming in as far as MMA goes coming in this fight?
Um, well, honestly, saw his record, saw that it was a lot of striking things, and I wanted to have an entertaining fight over anything else. Um, on a more personal level, I'm going to be graduating from the University of Pittsburgh this semester, and I wanted to make sure that before all my college friends left and went across the world and stuff like that, that I was able to put on one more show specifically for them. So this is like I'm kind of dedicating that fight to them, but on like my own development side, 4-1, it's like I'm gonna have to take that fight eventually. I can't keep avoiding the tough matchups. And like you said earlier, it's like if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose in the amateur world. It'd be better for my development and overall progression.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. What's your major? Congratulations on your upcoming graduation from the University of Pitt.
So I'm majoring in law and criminal justice society, which is like it looks into like criminal investigation and the law enforcement side of law.
Well, that's great. Hats off to you. And what's it been like balancing not just this fight within your college uh, career, but also all the other fights? How has that been working as far as doing both?
Um, it sucks sometimes. I can't lie because there will be times when I'm in camp prepping for a fight, cutting weight, and my friends will ask me, it's like, "Oh, do you want to go out to this bar?" And I gotta tell them I can't. Like I have to keep that discipline, and I have to, especially my weight management. It's like that's probably the most difficult thing to balance with school. But I think the like 2 weeks after every single fight is it makes it so much worth it because I'm able to go out with all my friends and enjoy what like a typical college experience is like, but with the added benefit of knowing that oh, I just want to fight.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And I'm sure your friends enjoy the fact that they can talk you up. Hopefully, they don't talk you up too much in bars so you don't get yourself in any type of troubles, because there's always somebody out there is a little too inebriated and hears, oh, there's a fighter over there. But very cool. Um, do you see yourself, now this is future, but do you see yourself continuing to take fights after you graduate, as, balancing a professional career with whatever you decide to do in fighting?
Yeah, I mean, I at the beginning I definitely picked this up as a hobby, but training with the people at Stout and seeing my own success in the sport, I really think I can go a lot further with this, and I'm gonna go as far as possible.
Well, I can't wait to not only watch you, but continue to have you back on. I like to follow local fighters. And I always like to say this with Stout Pittsburgh. I've known head coach Mike Wilkins since he was 18 years old and a freshman at Windsor University. So always have a special place in my heart for him. He's just an incredible guy. Was a great MMA fighter in his own right, a great BJJ practitioner in his own right, black belt, obviously, and now just an incredible coach. What are your You've already given your thoughts on why you took the fight against the guy with a 4-1 record. I think that makes perfect sense. Also, Coach Mike and Coach Will Morrell are coaches that I think it's awesome. They kind of have a lot of say in what fights you take, and that's how it should be. And I know out of that gym, if the coaches say you're going to take this fight, like that's the fight. And I think that's a good mindset to have so that it doesn't kind of overwhelm fighters to try to pick every one of their opponents and things like that. What is your prediction against your opponent March 15th, Murrysville Sportzone Arena for 247 Fighting Championships, Brawl in the Burgh 27, their big St. Patrick's Day event? What is your prediction when the cage door closes on your fight?
Well, I feel like it's going to be the most entertaining fight on the card. We're both really accomplished strikers specifically, and I think we're gonna have a good man dance and do a really entertaining fight. But I know because of all the experience I have and all the people who I train with and just the community around me, it's like I know I'm gonna be able to beat him no matter what the cost.
Well, that comes with the confidence of your training and your effort. I always love it when somebody, and I think that's the mindset, particularly in MMA, that comes over from Muay Thai and striking arts is want to be, very entertaining, very, I'm not going to say anybody fights in MMA to be not entertaining, but that's certainly a style that the crowd likes. Obviously, you've already gotten experience outside of 247. I think 247 is like the perfect environment for you to really build a fan base. Pretty much anybody that walks out from a Pittsburgh gym, particularly Stout, already has fans. Plus, you have your own fans. You said your college friends, and hopefully they've already gotten tickets. We're 13 days away, so there's a prediction that it'll sell out. Don't let it sell out before you get tickets. Buy tickets through your favorite fighter like Hugh Eadie, the gym, or 247fighting.com. Also, if you're watching this and you can't come to Hugh's fight March 15th, but you're going to get the pay-per-view, download the 247 Live app, and it can be played on any smart device, and that is the perfect way to get the pay-per-view. I really appreciate you coming on. Always fun to cover somebody for the first time on MMA Fancast. So I really appreciate you coming on. This has been Luke Basin for MMA Fancast with the first-time guest on the show, a 2-0 MMA fighter, 3-0 Muay Thai fighter, about ready to be a debut for 247 March 15th, and that is Hugh Eadie. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.